Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here, and it's my pleasure to present you the zk-Link Nova, the aggregated rollup solution to unify the Ethereum Layer 2 rollup ecosystem. So with the quickly emerging rollup solutions to the scaling solutions for Ethereum Layer 1, we're seeing hundreds of rollups today, and probably we will see even thousands of rollups in the coming months and years. And in this graphic, you see that in terms of liquidity and scalability are the two important dimensions to measure the characteristic of a blockchain or a blockchain network. In terms of liquidity, I think most of liquidity nowadays are either Bitcoin Layer 1 and Ethereum Layer 1. And we're seeing the scaling solutions to increase the scalability to be able to support high performance applications to enable mass adoptions. The Layer 2 rollups are solving the problem of the scalability, but at the same time also they're increasing the problem of liquidity fragmentation. And the cross rollup transactions nowadays either very costly. If you bridge your funds from one Layer 2 to another Layer 2, most of the time you either use a third-party bridge, a rollup bridge, and you pay several dollars per transaction, or even hundreds of dollars if you bridge a large amount of funds. And in this process, sometimes there's still, not sometimes, but most of the times, there's still risk associated. And the existing stack solutions offer some liquidity, sort of liquidity unification. For example, we have heard the Polygon CDK shared bridge. They have the CCS Aglair, and also zk Stack also is trying to unify liquidities using the Hyper Bridge, and also the OP Stack and Arbitrum Orbit. They all have similar designs to unify the liquidity within this stack system, within their sub-ecosystem. The way we envision that how the rollup ecosystem is going to evolve with that, we're going to see several successful Layer 2 rollups, even Layer 3s. Not only Ethereum, but also probably the Bitcoin Layer 2 will find its use cases and be lengthy. The end game we see a rollup ecosystem with many rollups. So how we solve the problem of the fragmentation of the liquidities, because the source of liquidities, of course, mostly still will be from Ethereum or the Bitcoin Layer 1. And then you have the divided liquidities and funds entering and existing, staying on different Layer 2s. So this will pose a problem. So how users how you can provide a simplified and unified user experience, because at the end of the day, users don't really care about the technology underlying. They care about the application and the user experience. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So we at zk-Link, we have proposed a novel approach to unify liquidities and the user experience across the rollups ecosystem, which is to build an aggregated Layer 3 to be able to tap all the assets and liquidities sitting on these different Layer 2s using different tech stacks. It is based on zk-Sync, zk Stack, so it's the zk VM, which is EVM compatible. It's a Type 3 zk EVM. And also it's based on our in-house technology, which is Nexus, which means a way to synchronize the states across the Layer 2s without introducing additional components of trusted components. So in this graphic, this diagram, you see that here, starting from Ethereum, we have liquidities enter into several different rollups. This is just examples, and they are divided, right? As a user, you probably have funds on Linear. You probably have funds on zk-Sync. Also, you probably have bought some Stark, and you probably already a user of Arbitrum DeFi applications. So users may often have to jump from one layer 2 to another layer 2 using maybe Orbiter finance or other third-party bridges, or they will have to go back to Ethereum, withdraw to Ethereum, and enter another layer 2. This process, as I said, either costly, either takes time, either risky. This fragmented user experience probably will be a blocker for future mass adoption. For example, the application on Arbitrum is very hard to find users from Starknet, to attract users from Starknet. And on Starknet is actually more of a problem because Starknet has its own programming language, Carol, and a separate address system. It's not even an EVM. But what we propose here is to build a unified layer 3 that is connected to all these layer 2s. And the users, they can directly enter this layer 3 from Ethereum layer 1, or they can directly enter from all of these layer 2s. And once they enter to this layer 3, the funds from Linea and the funds from Starknet, they're able to interact with each other directly. So you would have to, we will have the pairs, for example, of Linea token with the Stark token, or you will have the USDC, USDTs from this layer 2 Linea and unify with its stable from Starknet. The same token from different layer 2s, we can merge them together through a governance process. And for the Ethereum itself, entering from layer 1 or different layer 2s, as they are all the native, all the ethers on the layer 2s are bridged over through the Rollup bridge on Ethereum layer 1. So basically, we can natively merge all the ETH in this layer 3. So the liquidity of ETH, which is 300 billion plus, can be theoretically merged natively on the Nova. So you have just one pair of any kind of ETH trading pairs. Some key features here, it is agnostic of the tech stack I just mentioned. No matter you're building with Starknet, or you're building a layer 3 with Madara, or you're building with Arbitrum Orbit, or ZK Stack, or a Polygon CDK, it doesn't matter. And it's EVM, because ZK Sync, ZK EVM type 3. And also, just because that we have connected to the layer 2s through the ZK canonical Rollup bridge, and the layer 2s are connected to Ethereum through their Rollup bridge. So all the transactions posted to layer 2s will also be posted to layer 1. But of course, this transaction data is compressed and posted via ZK proof, and they're posting to the Ethereum layer 1. And so all the transactions happening here is if ultimately settled on Ethereum layer 1. So the finality of the transactions here, depending on the finality of these layer 2 settlements on layer 1. In this way, we consider that this layer 3 progressively inherits the security from Ethereum layer 1, because the finality has to wait for Ethereum layer 1 blocks. Yeah, this is the diagram showing the process that I just mentioned. So step 1, 2, 3, as you can see here, commit states and approve. The transition of the states of this unified state tree on the layer 3 will be compressed and generates zero-knowledge proof. We're using ZK snarks. This is the layer 3 ZK Link unified, connected to different layer 2s. Again, this is just examples, right? You could have a lot more here. Horizontally, you can integrate with unlimited number of layer 2s, and there are increasing number of layer 2s. It doesn't matter if it's ZK EVM or ZK VM. So Starknet is also one of the chains that we integrated. And here at step 4, 5, 6, all these layer 2s will receive the states and proof commitments from this unified layer 3 through the official ZK Link Rollup bridge. And then this layer 2s will communicate with Ethereum layer 1 contract through their respective official Rollup bridges. And this contract will forward the messages receiving from different chains. One of these layer 2s will be selected as the primary zero-knowledge proof verification chain to perform the ZKP verification. It is mathematically equivalent to perform all the verifications on each of them as to perform on one of them. Currently, we're doing this on Linea as they have the ETH pairing function, which is essential to perform the ZK snark verification. But I think what we heard is that the other chains will support the easy pairing very soon. And Starknet is also having this problem. The easy pairing function has taken a long time to develop, and this pre-compile is very expensive on the ZK circuits to consumes too much resources. And the ZK Stark probably will have that in Q2 this year, as they said. We will see. And Polygon CDK recently has also supported the easy pairing. So meaning that it does not limit to any of the chains. You can select basically any of these layer 2s to perform the ZK verification. Of course, you can do that on an OP chain as well. OP is more compatible with Ethereum opcodes, but the problem is that you probably don't want to do that because this finality time will be a lot longer if you do that on an OP chain. So this is some simple stats to show that we have launched the ZK Nova mainnet about 2 weeks ago as the first aggregated rollup solution in the industry, and also we're the first ZK Stack-based chain going live. And based on Nexus technology, this new approach is very different from other bridging solutions we have seen before because all the assets flows basically goes through the official rollup bridge, which is what will be in the future will soon be completely permissionless and trustless. At this moment, we still think that all the rollups are based on a multi-sig, so this is still not completely permissionless, but it is already the highest degree of security we can achieve among all types of asset bridges. And after launch on the 12th of March, we're seeing very quick TVL growth on in the network. We're seeing we have today, after today, I think around 350 million TVL, and it is still growing on a daily basis. Yes, so this data is outdated, and currently it is integrated with 8 networks, and 80 plus tokens have entered the network, including native layer 2 assets like ARP, OP. Stark is on the way very soon. And also the stables from different layer 2s and layer 1, and also Ethereum and the variants of its stake tokens and restake tokens. There's more than 50,000 of user addresses on this chain already and 60 plus dApps. In terms of the assets aggregation here, I'd like to touch a little bit more on why we call this a assets aggregation solution and unification of liquidity. It's because that there are 3 types of assets that we are aggregating today. I think the most important is that Ethereum is not listed here. Ethereum, because it represents 80% plus, even more probably, 90% plus of the liquidities on Ethereum ecosystem. All the other tokens on chain in the applications are paired with Ethereum and the stable coins. So if you were able to aggregate and unify liquidities of Ether natively without introducing any additional components, risk assumption, trust assumption, and risk, this will greatly improve the liquidity and capital efficiency of Ethereum within these rollup ecosystems. Because imagine we have 100 rollups, layer 2s, which is highly possible. And then divided 300 billion divided by 100 is about 3, and by average it's 3 billion per chain. And this is not a great number we want to have. Well, ideally we want to have like probably hundreds of billions on one chain. So this will foster a better user experience and a more prosperous ecosystem because of the stacks of DeFi logos and other types of derivatives and financial products. And also for the layer 2 native assets, this also is a problem. We have right now, Arbitrum, there's a lot of native assets because they have more applications and more builders and more assets, and OP, same. And very quickly, we're seeing the emergence of Starknet, Manta Pacific, and other Mantle, other Blast. Well, these layer 2 native assets are totally not interoperable, even though they share security of Ethereum. The assets are mostly isolated and do not have the capability to pair with each other. Or if you want to buy, for example, Blast assets, you have to bridge over to Blast. As I said, this is not a great user experience to have at the moment. But Zcash Nova is offering another option for those assets and also the application builders to enter to layer 3. And then instead of deploy 10 times, 20 times on different 10, 20 different layer 2s, you had just to deploy on once on the unified layer 3. And this layer 3 will help you to absorb and help you to attract other assets from other ecosystems. And then potentially you can have a massive abundant trading opportunities to pair with each others. And for derivatives, this will greatly enhance the user experience and the capital efficiency in terms of if you have 10 assets from 10 chains, you can just manage that with one unified user interface in one application in this layer 3. So for example, if you have restaked tokens to Puffer and Renzo, you have other assets like ARP, Stark, OP, all these assets can be managed in one unified user interface. This matches the user experience of the centralized platform today. For example, we are all users of centralizations like Binance, right? When we use Binance, I think one of the most convenient things is that your assets just stay there. You don't need to think about which blockchain it is. You just deposit your assets there. The convenience is that you can buy any assets is listed there. You don't think about the blockchain. You don't think about the gas. On Zcash, with the account abstraction, we want to match this user experience. But of course, everything will be fully trustless, completely permissionless, and self-custodial. We're building right now, the Nova Mainnet is already launched. And integrating modular DA is to further reduce the cost of transactions. Now it's already very cheap. It's below 0.05, 5 cents per transaction. On the layer 3, you can imagine the cost of transactions will be even lower than on layer 2s. And there's more things to come. We will be integrating decentralized sequencers or shared sequencer service, and also support the proof markets, aggregated proof solutions. This is all about reducing cost and enhancing the performance of the network to support a higher performance and these applications like derivative trading. Yes, if you are interested in building on Zcash, you are more than welcome to join our ecosystem. And we have developer grants and other supports provided to boost the growth of the ecosystem. And we're also a part of a broader Starknet ecosystem as we actively building using Cairo contract, and facilitates the building experience from connecting the Cairo VM ecosystem to the EVM ecosystem with our solution. Thank you very much.